All right. Well, I'd like to say some of the basic problems with the musar movement, um, and in particular the way that that movement has morphed into sort of being a part of like the regular Seder of yeshivas. The basic, and again, it's not criticism this time to knock down. It's rather like to try to correct the situation. I've noticed a lot of people get involved in Breslov simply because they see um, I guess the overbearing amount of hypocrisy and sanctimonious that there is in the yeshiva world, and so that leads to let's ask a basic question: what is wrong with the traditional approach of morality that's being taught there? Well, one of the problems would be the integrity claim, which is that if one person is going to have one particular virtue, like he's going to be learning Torah all the time, well, it's going to be, the virtues are going to be so independent that if he's learning Torah, then he's going to be a benevolent person, probably, tzaddik in every other way, completely benevolent, completely just, completely l'shem shemaim, everything he does, with no shemetz of psul at all, just because he's sitting and learning. Well, I tend to think that, the question about that is it's just simply not substantiated. People might very well, they might be fragmented. You might have somebody that's courageous and has noble ideals and is lechavin completely shem shemayim, and yet is actually a completely evil person, even though he's mechavin all these good things. For instance, a good example of that would be like a suicide bomber, right? He's courageous, he's brave, he's self-sacrificing, he has certainly noble ideals, bringing sort of my family values, I guess, to mankind. He's using the West, that those are sort of have broken down, so he wants to bring Islamic family values into the world. And so he goes out and, kills, like, say, 1,300 million people or something, or as many as he can possibly get. But that's an extreme example. Of course, like the same thing applies to Rosh Yeshivas or Rebbeim in Yeshivas. Also, this idea that they're having one particular trait that they sit and learn, so they also automatically have other traits. Also, there's a problem with there's the stability claim that that these traits are stable and they don't change, and also that they're fixed. This is like another problem, is that these are fixed traits. They're not dependent on situation. I mean, all evidence indicates that people are sitting and learning because that it's convenient to do so. It's a very common human trait that if you're sitting, to want to remain sitting. You have a choice of sitting and drinking tea all day, and either chatting, which is half what goes on, and sometimes doing some actual learning, which in itself is in fact amazing. The Gemara is a tremendous book. And then, or else you have the choice of, doing that, sitting and learning, drinking tea, or else being a construction worker the whole day, being out there with the Arab workers or something, and, taking the hammer and knocking away the whole day. I mean, you get your choice of which to do. What'd you choose? Yeah, I know, exactly. Especially you can choose the sitting and learning, you can do it l'shem shemayim, why not? Right? Situational morality. Unfortunately, their morality is more dependent on situation than we would like to admit. And all these problems are major problems in the traditional musar model, which I think is one of the reasons why it's sort of shallow, and the way people would rather go into some deep thinker like Rabbi Nachman, which makes sense if it wouldn't be for problems in that particular movement that take advantages of the weakness in Rabbi Nachman's thought and use that to build up their own personal fiefdoms. So I don't have an answer for people what to do, but there are problems in the musar movement at any rate, major problems.